Harrodsburg, Kentucky, where she and her husband Jeff reside on a small purebred cattle operation. Kay is the owner of Benchmark Graphic Company and is active in her community, volunteering with 4-H, sports boosters, and community development activities. She's a fifth-generation purebred livestock breeder, and between Jeff and Kay, they have 3 children who are all actively involved in exhibiting livestock in various capacities. Annually, as a family, they custom fit Limousine, Angus, and Highland cattle at regional and national shows, and she tries to judge 10 to 15 shows a year across the country. Kay is a graduate of Colorado State University and was a member of their livestock judging team and student manager of the Beef Research Unit. Upon graduation, Kay was the first female executive director of the Virginia Angus Association, and her career path has led her in various directions of association and corporate work until starting Benchmark in 2020. Put your hands together and let's welcome Judge Kaufman here to the Maryland State Fair this evening.
Test 1, 2. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly fun to be here for your first Highland show. I have no doubt that this will continue to grow. We just got to get the word out there and get some exhibitors here. This breed is growing exponentially, and the quality of the purebred cattle are growing, the popularity of the everyday cattle are growing, and they're feeding off of each other. So it's nice to see these cattle expand into the U.S. in the rapid pace that they are. We're going to start our day off with a really high quality heifer. She's just going to walk right out here, and she can set her up on the profile. A female that to me is very, very complete. She ties together a great structure in terms of her angles are all appropriate. She's attractive in terms of her femininity, and in terms of muscle and volume, she certainly is above average in that standpoint. A female that in regards to growth is right where she needs to be for a fall calf. I think this is one that I look forward to seeing out here in the drive.
We'd like to congratulate Molly Klein for our Class 3 Senior Heifer Calf Champion. She is exhibiting GHF Anna, and Molly resides in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Thank you for being here with us this evening, Molly. Our Class 4 Intermediate Heifers, we have 3 exhibitors. Casey Turner exhibiting Running W Freya. Molly Klein exhibiting GHF Ibis. And another exhibit from Casey Turner with Running W Gemini. These heifers range in age from June 4th, 2024 to August 27th, 2024. Again, we will have 3 entries in this class. Casey. Are you Casey? That's fine. I just wanted to know which one was which. Okay. That's all I needed to know. Thank you very much.
those of you who are standing ringside, these cattle come in a variety of colors, as you can see, and they're actually rotated that way on the registration papers. We have silvers and whites, we have blacks, we have yellow, red, and this one down here on the end is what we call dun. And the duns can range anywhere from a darkish silver to almost a chocolate brown. So the different colors have gained a lot of popularity within the breed. To me, it doesn't matter what color it is. That's not a judge's place to determine which color has more value than any other color. We just have to evaluate them as they're all the same color. But in terms of selling them, in terms of popularity to the general public, the variety of colors certainly has been very appealing and has driven the market quite a bit. We have an interesting class out here, heifers that are all very different in terms of their shape and size and kind. I like the heifer who wins because of her advantage in muscle. You view her down her top, her shoulder back to her hip. She has a lot more top shape. And then when you get in behind her, she carries that muscle way further down into her quarter than the heifer that's in second. I think where she gives up the advantage to the heifer in terms of femininity and flexibility. You get them out in motion, and she doesn't have as much flex to her hock and her pastern as the heifer that comes in behind her. But we are a beef breed. I'm going to give the advantage to the heifer that is a little bit stouter in her construction, a little bit heavier muscle than the female that comes out in second. Heifer that comes out second is deep-sided. She's not necessarily bigger ribbed. She's just softer middled than the heifer that leads out. A heifer that's right in terms of her angles. Her neck comes out at high and tight at the top of her shoulder, and she's level from hooks to pins. You get in behind her when she's in motion, and she gets pretty narrow at the ground, and I'd like to change that about her, and that's an indicator of muscle. And I'd like to just pull her apart in terms of her dimensionality. Heifer that comes out next, a heifer that's right on track where she needs to be in terms of maturity pattern, a female that we just need more of in terms of stoutness. She gets a little bit frail, and she gets a little bit off in her hoof shape. We need to give her more heel, and we need to shorten up those toes to add to her length and functionality and longevity. But a nice heifer, she's level in her design, she's relatively sound when you get her out in motion. I think she's gonna do a nice job for this lady.
We'd like to congratulate our Class 4 Intermediate Yearling Heifers. Your champion Intermediate Yearling Heifer was awarded to Molly Klein with GHF Ibis. And that heifer was born in August 24th, 2024, so she's just a year old. Second and reserve champion went to Casey Turner from Running W Farms with Running W Gemini, and third was Casey Turner with Running W Freya. We're now ready for our junior yearling heifer division. We have a single entry from Casey Turner with Running W Farm and H&H Sadie.
A nice single entry out here. A heifer that's a little bit more moderate in terms of her frame size, but with that you get the added advantages of fleshing ability, capacity, and muscle. She's compact, but she's made really, really nice. Female that I love how her shoulder lays back into her. She's level out of her hip. She's feminine and clean enough through her front 1/3. Particularly for as much mass and substance as she's carrying behind. Go ahead and put your hands together. Really nice single entry.
Results of your junior yearling heifer division. First was awarded to H&H Sadie, exhibited by Casey Turner with Running W Farms. In the ring now, we're going to have a single entry by Aubrey Baker from Running W Farms. This is Running W Serenade, and she was born September 10th, 2023. At the conclusion of this division, we will be selecting our Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Highland heifer.
got a single entry in this senior heifer division. For those of you who are watching senior heifers, we show these cattle typically in the Galloways and in the Highlands because they have a slower maturity curve. A lot of these cattle wouldn't qualify. I'm not sure her age exactly, but if we get older than September of 2023, those cattle wouldn't be able to show in most standard breeds, but we allow them to show in these breeds. These cattle just take longer to get to their mature end point, or their mature size. And then also we breed them later. So if this was a conventional breed, let's say a Hereford or an Angus or a Shorthorn, most likely this female would be bred, get ready to calve this fall. In this breed, she's just now getting bred because she wouldn't have been big enough or mature enough to be able to have a calf and to raise it. So just a little bit of Highland knowledge out there for you if you care, or if you're thinking about getting into the Highland breed. This is a nice representation. This young lady does a nice job with this female. She does a really good job showing her. Go ahead and lead her out and we'll talk about her for those that are ringside. When you see this heifer get out and go, she covers her track, and by that I mean when her front foot takes off, her back foot plants. Now she's fighting it and she's not doing it, but she has enough reach in her skeleton, enough flexibility to do that, and that's an indication of longevity. If they get tight and they can't move and they're short strided, those are the cattle that don't survive as long as we expect these cattle to. This heifer is adequate. She's adequate in terms of her muscle, she's adequate in terms of her volume, and her structure is beyond adequate. So it's a nice example of a Highland coming 2-year-old or current 2-year-old, and I congratulate them.
We'd like to congratulate your senior yearling champion heifer exhibited by Aubrey Baker with Running W Serenade from Running W Farm. And again, that heifer was September 23rd, September 2023. We're now going to bring in our division champions and select our Supreme and Reserve Grand Champion heifer overall. Out of your senior heifer calf division, we have GHF Anna exhibited by Molly Klein. From Class 4, Division 4 intermediate yearling heifers, we have Molly Klein exhibiting GHF Ibis. And from your junior yearling class is Casey Turner with H&H Sadie. And from our last class, senior heifers, is Aubrey Baker from Running W Farm with Running W Serenade. Second, and in contention for reserve, is Casey Turner, again from Running W Farm with Running W Gemini. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our grand champion female heifer drive.
Well, I want to commend these exhibitors. It's nice to see cattle represented here and the breed represented here at the Maryland State Fair. It's nice to expose these cattle to the public, to give the public an opportunity to come and visit with you back at the stalls and to watch you out here in the show ring. I know there's, like I said, there's a lot of popularity around them. Now we just need to build the knowledge base about them. This breed just kind of came into our life about 5 or 6 years ago. We showed Belted Galloways and Angus and Limousines, and a fellow Belted Galloway breeder has a really nice herd of Highlands out in Missouri and Kansas, and he said, "You want to go Highlands?" And I was like, "Sure, we'll take your Highlands," I guess. So they spent 6 months with us prior to COVID. Denver didn't happen, so we only got to show them once that year in York, Nebraska, and we've been hooked ever since. We've become involved in marketing them. We've become in and doing some advertising. for other breeders, and I had the opportunity to judge, I guess, 3 regional shows now. So it's really been something that our family has enjoyed, and I've gotten to know the exhibitors, who I have a great deal of respect for. These aren't easy cattle to manage. You have to deal with the horns and you have to deal with the hair. Everything that you guys like are things that we have to deal with. So you get gored every now and then, intentionally or on accident. And then the hair is a lot to manage. It looks beautiful out here, but you run them through a field full of burdocks or thistles, and within 5 minutes you don't like the hair. Or mud or snow or ice, all that good stuff certainly creates some challenges that you get to be rewarded with by seeing these cute, fluffy cows. So my hat's off to the exhibitors for the time and the effort. This isn't a cheap endeavor by any means. The cost of cattle, the cost of feed, and the cost of travel is exorbitant right now. And if you have kids playing travel sports, I don't want to hear you complain, because your kid was free compared to a $10,000 heifer. So anyways, it's something just to keep in mind, how much time and money these folks spend to bring animals out here for you all to see. So go ahead and give them a big round of applause to show your appreciation. We'll talk through the cattle just quick. We've got a really high quality heifer up here at the front of the line. To me, she's the nicest balanced of any that we've seen all day. And when I use the word balance, I mean her front meets her middle, meets her hip. And they all look like it was designed by the same person. And that's a female, I think, that could withstand a bunch of competition. She's one that just want to make her tick prettier through her front 1/3. But other than that, that's a powerful female. I think is going to make a nice foundation type female for this exhibitor. The white heifer that came out of the next class, she had advantage in terms of top shape. And when we talk about top shape, muscle, that muscle that goes from her shoulder back to her hip, those of you ringside, that's where your valuable cuts come from, right? I know we don't want to talk about meat when we're looking at cute, fluffy animals, but the base of this is they're beef cattle. And we have to be cognizant of the fact that they need to produce beef. This white female had that advantage in that class. She's super long-sided, and when that happens, it tends to get harder to make them deep-sided. With proper time and management, I think this heifer will get there. The heifer out of the 3rd class, she's one that's very moderate in terms of her frame. We talked about how efficiently she was constructed. She's going to do well with low inputs. She's a heifer that, in terms of condition, she's right where she needs to be. Heifer that's in relation to her frame size, she's long fronted, maybe not the neatest fronted, but she certainly is very long fronted. Her neck comes out of the top of her shoulder. She's level from her hooks to her pins. That's a female that I like quite a bit as well. Just want to make her a little bit bigger. We get into our senior heifer, a heifer that maybe isn't as level in her design as the 3 heifers above her, but she's still deep-sided. She's adequate in terms of her muscle shape and capacity. She's a female that's actually level from hooks to pins. She just gets a little bit elevated in her tail head. So if you look at her quick, you're like, wow, she drops in her pin set, but she doesn't. It's her tail head and how that's constructed. Female, we just need to stouten up at the ground a bit. Nice lineup. I'll go out and pick your champion and your reserve.
Your grand champion, Highland, was exhibited by Molly Klein from Class 3 Senior Heifer Calves with GHF Anna. While Judge Kaufman selects your reserve grand champion, just so you know that this has been named the best female in show. She is what Miss Kaufman believes is the best one we have here at the Maryland State Fair this year, and she is exhibiting a Supreme Champion ribbon. Your reserve, I believe, was also exhibited by Molly Klein. Was exhibited by Molly Klein with GHF Ibis. This heifer came out of your intermediate yearling heifer class, and she is just a little over a year old. Your Supreme heifer is going to be a year old in 2 weeks. So if that helps the audience around know how old these heifers are, they're just over and under a year of age. We appreciate you guys being here for the heifer show. We do have one grand finale, and that is our junior yearling bull exhibitor. Casey Turner from Running W Farms in Crumpton, Maryland, is going to bring us H&H Finn. This young bull was born in February 2024, so he's coming up on his second birthday. He'd be a little over 18 months old. And Judge Kaufman is going to give us some words on this bull that we have here today at our show.
We've only got one bull in today's show, but it's one that I think exemplifies the breed very, very well. The bull is really good-footed. He's got big feet. He's got level length or even length toes. I like to give him maybe a little bit more heel, but in terms of hoof shape, he really excels. The bull's very level in terms of his design. If you go from your shoulder back to your hip, he's nice and straight, and then he carries that levelness from his hooks to pins. A bull that, in terms of structure, when you ask him to move, has a lot of flexibility. He's almost ideal in terms of his knee set and how he handles his hock in motion. And in terms of testicular development, he's excels the breed average from that standpoint. Go ahead and give this exhibitor a big round of applause, a really nice Highland bull.
We'd like to thank everyone who came out to our Highland show here this evening. We would especially like to thank our Highland exhibitors. This is the first year that we've had a Highland show here at the Maryland State Fair, and we are looking to grow this show. And we can't start if we don't have some exhibitors willing to come here and show their Highlands. So we appreciate you all being here tonight. The Highlands will be on display back in the aisles if you'd like to walk over. We are going to take some backdrop pictures, and we have plenty of time to do that this evening. Again, we appreciate you being here at the Maryland State Fair with us. We will have more shows starting tomorrow morning. We will start with our llamas and alpacas. That will be at the other end of this barn. We will be showing pigs down in the swine barn, and we will be showing dairy goats in the goat barn. We will have a small cattle show tomorrow evening, and small does not mean numbers, it means size. So we're going to be showing calves here tomorrow evening, both heifers and steers, as future prospects to show here at the fair next year as full grown. So we have plenty going on here this evening and tomorrow at the Maryland State Fair, and we look forward to visiting with you. We will be having bedtime story with animals at 7 o'clock. All youth can come and read our animals to sleep tonight, and they get a free book and some candy. So make your way right behind the stage to our You Learn barn and help read our animals to bed tonight. Thank you.